Here's a little insight into my Steampunk Cafe window process. To get the details of the exterior wall, I just build it up in layers, add the detail, making the frame out of strips of cardstock. But the innermost layer is where I leave an opening for the window glass itself, which is just clear plastic. So that fits in there nicely. So when I glue the other layer in, the last layer, it actually holds it together. I don't have to do too much gluing of the plastic itself. Now, one important detail to keep in mind when I'm doing these interior details is I actually paint everything ahead of time. And I'm also very careful to paint the inside rim of the glasses before I put everything together, so that I know which side is facing up and which side is facing out. I make a little mark in the corner. And this is actually the outside, so I've got that pre-painted. I'm going to slot that into the opening that I cut into that layer of cardstock. Then I put the plastic into that opening. And then I'm going to put my final layer over that. I always make sure that I paint the inside edge and then a little further before I glue everything together, because what will happen if you do not do that is when you put it together, you'll actually see the inside of the unpainted cardstock. So to avoid that, make sure you paint the inside rim and then a little more, and you won't see any white spaces. And I'm going to repeat this process for all of the windows on the first floor and second floor. And off we go. Hello. I'm not trying to intentionally be funny. I'm only ever funny unintentionally. But I needed a new way of filming my videos, and I decided I would push the desk forward so I could be behind the desk rather than in front of the desk with my lovely face filling up the entire screen. I find videos where people's faces fill the entire screen are actually kind of bothersome because not everybody's watching a video on their phone. So why do I need to see somebody's mug magnified 4 times the actual size? So I don't want to be that person, so I'm doing it this way. The reason I'm doing this video is to get you caught up on the Steampunk Coffee Shop, which is taking a little bit of time. It's a tedious project, but there's going to be a payoff. I can feel it. It's going to be a good project. It's just taking a little longer than I had hoped it would. But you can't rush quality. The other thing is, I don't publish my videos on a regular schedule. I publish when I'm ready to publish. I feel like just for me, it's important to not be on a self-imposed schedule. Like, I'm not working for network TV. I don't work for anyone. I work for myself. I work for you guys, actually. And I'm not going to blast out a video when I'm not ready to put it out, or if I don't have something to show you. Now, even though this project is not finished, I feel like it's still worth showing you where it is up to this point. The front doors of the Steampunk Coffee Shop open and close. There's Darga's in front drinking already. I don't know what time it is in his time zone, but he's already drinking. And the doors open and close. So if you saw my interview with Carl of Carl Makes Stuff, I talked a little bit about how important it was for me to have the doors open and close in my projects. And I think that kind of comes from my childlike brain that needs to have the doors open and closed so I can imagine myself actually walking inside. I don't have to teleport through the walls to get in. And this is Dargis, and he's a character in some of my stories. Unfortunately, he's always drinking, but he doesn't mind. Drink responsibly. Now the other thing is the spiral staircase. So there's this stone tower. I have a story brewing about why part of the coffee shop is made of stone and the rest is brand new. But here's my spiral staircase. I know that there's a lot of resistance to 3D printing. You're either in the 3D printing camp or you're in the scratch building camp. I use a little bit of both. 3D printing should be applied appropriately, and when I did this spiral staircase, that is the appropriate use of 3D printing. I could make this by hand, but it would take a lot longer and may not look as good. So I 3D printed my spiral staircase and installed that in. More windows to come. So the detailed interior, I just did a print for the texture of the floor. As I build this, it's going to be modular, and I'm going to build this in such a way that I can open it up again later because I want to detail the interior. I'm going to do that at the very last once I built out the exterior completely. The other thing is I want to kind of show you this window assembly, which is the one that was the most complicated. There's another complicated window assembly coming at the top of the VIP lounge, but I'll get to that later. And I thought this front window turned out pretty well. I'm really happy with it. And like I said, once this thing is all together, I think it'll be pretty cool. So that's where I'm at with the Steampunk Coffee Shop at this moment. The last thing I want to talk about is the value of mock-ups. The mock-up actually helped me plan this project. I probably would be taking even more time if I didn't have a plan to help me guide the process and show me where windows needed to be and where I needed to cut things, and even kind of help me plan out how to create it in such a way that I could make it modular so I could detail the interior at a later time. And so thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far into the video, you don't suck, and I will see you next time. Peace. Right, time to leave. Practice my evasive parkour. Alright, studio parkour. Hi, welcome back. I'm Rob Boss, and I'm going to show you how to make stuff.